States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay, so Opens Meeting Act on the wall. If anybody does not know what that is, take a gander. It'll give you some clarity. Let's kind of jump right into this here this evening. Approval of the April 23rd minutes.
Brad being gone?
Excuse
Oh,
me.
actually, yes, we need to excuse Brad. So let's excuse, I need a motion to excuse Brad.
Motion.
Brad.
I'll second.
Burke.
Stroman, Buckner,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bondegard.
Yes.
All right, approval of the April 23rd, 2024 minutes. Anybody have any problems with those or see any inconsistencies? No? Someone like to,
No phone number, though.
No.
He's
No.
not here.
I have it, if you need it.
I don't have a phone.
I would make a motion that we
2, 3, 2,
approve the
1.
minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Burke, Brandon. 1, 2.
Buckner,
Abstain?
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bondegard,
Yes.
Stroman.
Yes. Public? Anybody have anything they'd like to say? Anybody? Nope. All right, let's move on. Planning Commission vacancies. Lori?
Okay, the Planning Commission has 2 vacancies that need to be refilled. The Planning Commission consists of 9 regular members who shall be appointed by the mayor and the majority vote of the members of the council. The 2 commissioners' terms are expiring. Tim Smith and Ben Schmidt's terms expire in June of 2024. Ben has agreed to fulfill another 3-year term, and Tim Smith has, he's been on the Planning Commission since January of 2014, and he's declined another term. Ben has offered to be reappointed for another 3-year term, and Jerry Spiker, I recommend that Ben Schmidt be reappointed and Jerry Spiker be appointed to fulfill Tim Smith's term.
All right, do we have a motion to reappoint Ben?
A motion.
Did you want to do them together or separate?
Well, one's
Tell
a
me.
reappointment.
What's that?
Well, yeah,
Probably do them
separate.
separately?
Yeah.
Since one's a reappointment.
Okay, so reappoint Ben,
We've already got.
Brock,
Yeah.
second Brandon. So these on here.
Mm-hmm.
No, huh? That's
Okay, Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bondegard,
Yes.
Stroman,
Yes.
Buckner.
Yes.
All right, let's get a motion to appoint Jerry.
I'll move.
Brandon?
Second.
Second?
Burke.
Okay, Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bondegard,
Yes.
Stroman,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
and Jerry's here to represent himself. So I don't know if he wants
Thank
to.
you. Thank you for reminding us to do
Jerry,
it.
did you
Yes,
say
thank you.
anything, or-
Looking forward to being back on the board.
All right,
Yeah, Jerry served on board prior too, as well as on the Board of Adjustments.
okay, nice.
Thank you for your interest.
Looks like the ambulance service is null and void this evening, so we'll skip over that. Do we have to motion to
No.
not do anything there?
No,
Okay.
you can just
All
pass.
right, economic development marketing tool, Placer AI, Brandy.
Hi, guys. All right, so,
Edit.
oh, yeah. This tool took a lot of due diligence, a lot of background research, so I've been working on this for about 5 weeks with tourism and the chamber. In today's competitive world of business, technology remains the friend of the economy as it strives to grow and offer populations what they need. I'd like to discuss a method that could be very beneficial to the economy of Sydney and Cheyenne County. The Chamber and Cheyenne County Tourism both reached out to me early in my position here in economic development and discussed their desire to partner on this. Placer AI is a location analytics software powered by mobile data. Placer monitors tens of millions of devices across the U.S. to provide data on any physical location, like events or downtown areas. Before we get into the issue of privacy concerns or topic of smart cities, neither of those are the goal for this tool use within Cheyenne County and the city of Sydney. They collect only location data, not the device's ID or PII from the devices that agree to background location sharing. So these people have already agreed to sharing their GPS. I have brought in Corey Keene for tool demos in the past, data technologist and local business owner, to identify pertinent information about this tool and its use. He has said that there is value, and after extensively questioning the technologist of Placer AI, feels comfortable in the use of the tool by economic development, tourism, and the chamber, should you guys also feel comfortable. So what is the goal for the use of Placer AI? As the Economic Development Director, I am looking for ways to prove to businesses that they will prosper in Sidney, Nebraska, and Cheyenne County through analysis that shows what is missing in our community. Numbers talk, and Placer AI can give us the numbers we need to justify solicitation to specific businesses or industries to move to Sidney, Nebraska, and Cheyenne County. Additionally, I'm truly hoping these numbers show aspiring entrepreneurs that their ideas can work and their business can flourish should the business idea fit the need and they take a chance to pursuing that business. I've compared it to a couple other tools. There's one called DataFi, Fly, and Retail Stat. The Chamber and Tourism have both done background research on other tools that they have been brought to their attention as well. None of them quite do what we're looking to do with Placer AI. The turnaround for the data you get from Placer AI is a lot faster. There's not as long of a wait time. So I've discussed the goals for us, but the Chamber also has, Tourism also has their own goals. And then the hope is that once the Chamber has identified a new president, they also have goals they would like to accomplish with this tool, because we're going to share it for multiple goals across the city and the county.
Is data going to be shared with the business owners?
Yes,
Okay.
I intend to share it with them. And that's what I mean by sharing it with young entrepreneurs. I would also share it with already existing entrepreneurs in town, but
Do they have to be part, is there a fee or anything involved in that?
no, they just have to come visit me
Okay.
when they need some data to back up whatever their goals are or what they're trying to accomplish.
And this just shows movement, right? It shows who's going into what locations. It's not really saying who's buying what, or it's just
Right,
sort of
no.
It's sort of a population aggregate.
Yes.
What businesses are getting, the most traffic.
Yes. And, I mean, there's still going to be some you don't see because there are very private people who turn off their GPS location. So we're going to miss some numbers, but more people than not still share their GPS location. And so the way you use the tool is you use a geofence. I don't know how many of you are really IT savvy or techie savvy, but you geofence a location that you want to look at. So if we wanted to look at the county fair, and then see how many people visit it, and then where they go afterwards to kind of see what people are interested within Sidney. But you can also compare it to places like Cheyenne. So what business are we losing from here because people can't get what they need here? They have to go to Cheyenne, or they have to go to Scottsbluff, or they have to go to Sterling. I'm not limited in my location. I can go anywhere in the U.S. and compare it to Sidney. So the total cost for the tool, I was able to talk them down from $12,000 to $9,500. And I got tourism to agree to do $2,500 of that. And I'm asking that within my own budget, I get to spend $7,000. And I have talked to Kagan about the financial side of it. I can afford it out of my own budget, the $7,000. I'm suggesting,
One-year shot, right?
yes,
So we
and
can see if we like it after a year, then we can.
yeah, and I'm,
roll in, and if we don't, we can, and there's no penalty to not moving on?
no, there's no penalty.
Okay.
It will have to be discussed in the beginning on if they're going to let me stay with $9,500 for next year. And I know tourism has agreed to pay a portion for 2 years, but I'm suggesting we stick with a year-by-year trial. And then if we don't have any kind of, response from the tool that we're hoping to get, then you guys are able to say no for next year. I'm just suggesting that we give it a chance so that I can put numbers behind what we're trying to do economically. Does anyone have any other questions?
I have one. You mentioned that this has a faster wait time, but do you know what the wait time is? Is it?
So we're looking at 24 to 48 hours for a turnaround in the information we're asking for. Sometimes if the information's already been generated somewhere, we can pull it really fast, but to be safe, I'd say 24 to 48 hours, whereas other tools, you could be looking at a couple months.
Yeah. I
of
suppose
what wait time.
Worried about is if you go through a whole summer and you don't get the data till it's too late to do anything, but that's plenty fast enough, yeah.
As long as there's no, as long as we're not tracking individuals, I know that people get kind of squeamish when it comes to
Yeah.
personal information.
Yep.
So if we can guarantee that it's not gonna be tracking personal information, I don't think that I really have much of a hiccup on this. I think it's good I think data's good, and the more data you have, the better off you are as business owners.
And when they did their, I'll be honest, I've done 2 demos with these guys, and the first demo, I wasn't seeing the economic value. I wasn't seeing how I could use the tool. But in the second one, he really hit it out of the park, and I saw what I could do with this tool. But I also really hammered on PII. I don't want to mess with anyone's PII, and I don't want a tool that's messing with someone's PII. So they have given all of the information I need to see this is not that. It is only background GPS.
Okay, and as long as we're getting out in front of all the businesses and letting them know that we have it, so that they're aware of it, and then they can utilize those tools, I think it'd be excellent.
And that will also be pushed on my Facebook page that I have this data. And then I've also requested from tourism, and then if the chamber comes on a little later, that they let people know as well and offer that data. Whenever they're using it, they're saying, powered by Placer AI. This is how I got this information.
Gotcha. I don't have any other questions. Brandon? Can we, so do you want us to make a motion to accept this
And then I would pay for it out of my budget.
To approve it.
and we have the money? Can we take a question from the audience?
You choose, yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Barbara Perez. I'm the editor and publisher of the Sydney Sun-Telegraph, and I have some grave concerns. And I would strongly encourage all of you to look up the problems behind it, because you did kind of gloss over it. A simple web search, there's incredible amount of information opposed to it. Have you looked into the additional software that has to be bought to protect the individual's information?
Yeah.
That's a completely separate software.
Yes.
It runs $25,000.
Yeah, so if you look at Placer AI, they're not buying any.
So there's a separate program to ensure that there is no hacking. Online, it says the controversy surrounding Placer.ai exposes extreme issues of transparency and accountability within the location data industries. While users have a right to know how their data is collected, used, shared, as well as potential risks involved. This then opens you up to lawsuits later. It does track them individually. In fact, it does also say the collection of personal information by Placer AI raises significant concerns about data protection. The company's privacy policy lacks transparency in terms of how the data is aggregated and anonymized, potentially exposing users to privacy risks. I'm not saying this isn't a good thing, but both sides need to really be delved into, because this is AI, it's too new just to say, oh yeah, this is great. A little bit, this is a day and a half of research, and I could give a 2-hour talk on the problems with this. And I'm not like trying to shoot it down, but this is hugely, hugely important. Way too important to go off of a couple sheets of paper and be like, yeah, this is great, and move on. Because it does absolutely track individuals. It is tracking software. What it does is it accesses individuals' information from their phone. Where do they go to visit? What websites do they visit? Where do they stop? Are they on Yelp? Do they leave reviews? This is some shit. I mean, this is serious. My other concern is any of the money for this going to come from the marketing money for the Sydney Sun-Telegraph? The problem there that I'm very adamant about, anybody that knows me know I'm very stubborn and vocal. A house divided against itself cannot stand. And the newspaper sans advertising revenue cannot work. A lot of people think, oh, the newspaper, it's outdated, look at this technology, look, we are not just a means or a mode of getting news out. We are not just for entertainment purposes. We are not just to put out cute pictures of grandchildren. The main core of the paper is to keep in line the Freedom of Information Act. It is all newspapers. We are the only legally sanctioned vehicle for the posting of these board minutes. The posting that this meeting is even gonna take place. The way the paper knows is the community knows is because of the paper. It can go up online, but legally, there is a reason that people have gone up and been like, hey, we should post this online. The newspaper can't be hacked. It can't be scrubbed. It can't be altered. Anybody can go into our newspaper and say, hey, I want to see what happened at the city council meetings May 14th of 1947, and guess what? Those minutes are in there, accessible with under 10 minutes. So I'm very concerned that any amount of our marketing is going to go for that. I believe it already has, an agreement with the tourism board to advertise. The Cheyenne County Tourism Board had an agreement with me way earlier in the year to participate in the Cheyenne County Travel Guide. And I was told, no, we're going somewhere different, we're gonna go digital. That's very concerning. Again, a house divided against itself. We are Cheyenne County's newspaper. You know, if a business closes, it's a shame. If the newspaper closes, it's a travesty. Where will people get their freedom of information and the board minutes and all of that?
Are you concerned that this marketing tool is gonna take away from your advertising revenue?
My concern is twofold.
Right.
One is I was a victim of identity theft. And this is back when it was done the old-fashioned way of like the skimmers.
Right.
It'll wreck a life. And the fact that it was so quickly glazed over, do you have a comparison sheet with all of the potential issues of it?
I'm sorry. It was not to glaze over at all.
No, I'm just saying, do you have a comparative sheet that shows all the dangers of it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I guess I figured that was a whole separate subject.
You're asking for money to support this. They should know what the dangers are.
Okay. Well, I'm willing to give a class on that too, because I also know the dangers.
After you get your money.
Look, I am only looking
Oh,
for
I'm
a
not
way
trying to argue.
to
I'm just
Yes, you
saying,
economically support
my
the city.
concern is,
Time out. I think we understand what your concerns are.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Brandy finish. Thank you very much for your
thank
input.
you.
Okay, so if we do want to table this and get more information, I can also have Placer AI do a presentation that would back up the information that I presented.
If we can assuage some of the concerns that the public might have, I think that would probably
Yeah,
be
because
a
you're
good
gonna
idea.
be the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am tracking that this was definitely going to be a topic for tonight. So I can ask Placer AI to do a public, how would you want to do this? Like a public meeting where everyone gets to come learn about Placer AI?
Yeah, if you could do sort of data information, so that's something that would show, and maybe have a third party, maybe we can get some third party information as well, something that would sort of counterpoint what they have to say. That way we're not
What
dealing.
would you suggest,
I
David?
could get that.
David?
Would you suggest we put this on the agenda for next time or something, or, and just revisit it?
Well, if you table it, it will be on the agenda next
Yeah.
time.
But
Are we gonna
rather than have a separate public meeting, do we want to have a separate public meeting?
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to do that.
No, I think
Oh.
we trust you to do the research. If you can get third party information, then provide that to us so that we can go through it and
And
have a better
Pros
idea.
and cons.
maybe have a representative from ACI here?
Yeah, and I can't remember where this particular individual is out of. I've done all virtual demos with him through the tourism department, so
Yeah, we can do virtual here too.
I will probably have to bring him in virtually, but,
That's fine.
okay,
That'll work.
I will see if he'll do a presentation for the next council meeting
28th,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be great.
Okay,
And if you, yeah, and if there's some sort of third-party information that you pull out, kind of give that to us.
and I do think he had that on one of his slides, so he's already got all the information.
He'll address the security piece that she was worried about.
Yes, and I do share that concern. Like, messing with PII is not something I ever want to do. I don't want people's personal information. But he'll be able to back up whatever he's preaching, just like
And you
I'm trying here.
mentioned you ran this by Corey Keene as well.
He pretty much tore it apart. He had a lot of
Say,
questions
feel free
for that
to-
technologist.
Yeah, Keenan.
Get him to go back and,
See if he'll come.
it'd be, the Placer AI person obviously has a vested interest in this. They want us to buy it. Corey Keene could be looked at as a independent.
Yep, non-biased.
Party,
Yep.
non-biased.
That would be
West Wright
good.
Bank.
And that is why I brought him in. Like I said, on the first time, I told him I wasn't totally comfortable with it and brought him in to see if he felt the same way. And after he got the right questions in, he did not feel that way, so.
Bring it back.
Motion to table?
Yes, yeah. Motion to, Brandon. Second. Edie.
Okay, so.
B-U-R-A.
Brandon,
B-U-R-A.
thank you.
Can I just finish with one thing?
Sure.
In no way am I trying to take away from the newspaper or any of the marketing tools we already have locally. That is not what I'm about. So I just want that to be very clear. This is only to help me back up numbers. I'm looking for numbers.
David.
Yes.
David's good. Okay, thank you.
You need a vote.
We need a vote.
Vote to table.
Okay.
Didn't they vote?
Vote to table.
Bondegaard,
Yes.
Stroman,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Radcliffe.
Yes.
Turn.
David, Community Center Agreement.
Next up, as many of you know, we've been partnering with the Cheyenne County Community Center for many years on our sports and other programs, even senior programs, congregate lunches, things like that that they do. For the most part, this is concerned with sports activities of the youth. As you know, the ball fields, the soccer fields, all those are owned by the city. But it is the community center that manages the programs, the leagues, the soccer leagues, the baseball leagues, everything else that they do. And for many years, we've programmed with them to do that. And a couple of years ago, we had discussed that we'd kind of brought this to the council. This was in 2021, I believe. And they'd asked to see the contract, and so did the community center, and we decided it was outdated, and we reviewed it and we revamped it. And as part of that process, we had decided that it was a good idea because, like I said, if we don't know what they're doing and they don't know what we want, we don't communicate. And part of that agreement was to start communicating better, and that's what we've done over the last 3 years. As part of the contract, it is built in that the mayor and a city council member have a meeting sometime in May, or before, I should say, before the end of May, with either with the president of the board of directors of the community center, and one of their board members, and then also myself and Mike Nemeth, who is the current CEO of the community center. So we did have that meeting. That meeting was held on April 23rd of 2024, and the two council representatives were Mayor Brad Sherman and Councilman Burke Ratcliffe. And we met with Keith Nienheiser, I believe, and I believe it was Jason Pettick, and then myself and Mike Nemeth, to go over all the programs and discuss any concerns that the city might have with the programs, what they're offering, how it's working, how it's fitting in with what the community needs are. I think this is a great idea, and I was glad that we did that in 2021. I thought it brought a lot of communication back to the table, rather than we've just been doing this forever and nobody really communicates. So it was a good meeting, and Burke is here tonight and can probably speak to that. I know Brad's not here, but and then also at that meeting, we decide what dollar amount, well, by we, I mean the mayor, a council member, their board member, and their board president. They request a certain amount. If there's no change in the amount, then we do not need to change the contract. It stays exactly the same as it has always been. This time, they did ask, they've not had an increase in I think, since 2021, when it went from 108,000 to 114,000. So they're asking, they had asked Burke and Brad how they would feel about bringing it up a little bit to 120,000, which would be an increase of 6,000 annually and 500 monthly. And that's how they bill us for that monthly. And both Brad and Burke had agreed to bring that request to the rest of the council to see what they felt about doing that and approving a contract, which would be a new contract now because we're making changes. And then after that, it would stay the same again until we would make any other kind of financial change to it. Is there something you want to add to that, Burke, that I left out?
We've got the money.
Well, it would be in, I should mention that, this contract runs as concurrent with our fiscal year. So it would start October 1st and go through September 31st, but that would be, or sorry, September 30th, would start in this coming October. So we've not done our budget yet, so we're kind of committing money before we enter the budget process, and you do need to be aware of that. If we do nothing, we would be committing 114,000. If we take action tonight to enter into this new agreement, we would be committing 120,000 in our fiscal year 25 budget, which we have not. I mean, we don't even know what the county hasn't even told us what our assessed value is yet. So, but we are. You're right. We are committing money in next fiscal year's budget by doing one way or the other, whether we do nothing or whether we take action. It's a difference of $6,000.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve that? Or do we have any questions?
Yeah, do you have any?
No.
Burke says it's okay.
I'll move to approve the new contract in the new amount of 120,000 annually.
Burke approves.
I'll second.
Warren seconds.
Stroman,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yep.
Londegaard.
Yes. All right. Next up, we've got claims. Did anybody have a problem?
Who did
with,
it?
Claims this?
Wasn't it you?
Oh. Sorry.
Who did that? Who did them?
I did them this one.
Oh,
I did.
you did.
I thought you meant Burke had a problem.
No,
Um, Anyone want to approve those, or
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
Brandon, Brock?
Buckner,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Londegaard,
Yes.
Stroman.
Yes. Keegan?
We're ready for you to sit down.
Budget report.
Ooh, a little taller. Touche. Good evening, council. Looking at April's numbers, it was a little bit of a tough month for the city. Not horrible, nothing that would be concerning at this point. In property tax, we were down $55K to last year. Again, that's probably looking at it a timely thing that people are paying their property taxes. And I know there was some adjustments at the county level with some systematic things that could lead to that as well. So I don't think it's a concern at this point that we're seeing that down. In the sales and occupation side, we're down $529K from last year. This, with what we received this year being $177K, is more in line with 21 and 22. The reason we see the large transition from last year to this year is a back sales tax that was paid in a large amount, which we don't get the privy knowledge to know who that was without attending some state meetings and so on and so forth, which David could attest to that it's probably not worth our time to go after that. We'll move on. Moving down fees to service, down 9.6K to LY. This is mainly going to line up with golf revenue, but with that being said, we did have a large month or a larger payout month last month of 32K, so they're sitting where I would say adequate, no concern. State, federal, county up 19. 0.35K to last year. Again, this is going to lead down to the transportation bus getting the reimbursements. They're obviously growing with the things that have happened here in town. More people are using our transportation services, so we will, again, I think, continue to see those reimbursements from the state and federal level come in at a higher rate for Casey's levels. So great job to him on that. Franchise admin fees, again, it's a timing thing. They were done in the prior month, whereas we did them this month for April. Nothing concerning. If we look at our yearly basis, we're in line with previous years. And then we are finally out of the 13th Avenue building rent. So it's kind of we're lined up and actually lining in where we need to without having to look at that as being a downside. So we are up in that other section a little bit. Moving on into the annual side again, property tax was down. The sales tax was down, obviously, because of that large sum that we got, but everything else kind of falls in line with where we've been in previous years. Going down to the revenues and expenditures on the proprietary funds, everything's been in line. Water and sewer definitely kind of took a hit there this month. Nothing of concern at this point. Obviously, we got to move day-to-day business and keep those things flowing and keep everything going on, especially with the projects that we have going around town. And then obviously the landfill took the dip as they paid for the loader this month. As you move into the year-to-date, you'll see that sewer comes back around. Obviously, landfill still takes that dip, obviously due to the loader payment, which I'm hoping that we'll see that turnaround in the coming months to where we can start to see landfill become back to a positive. It'll be later in the year that we can hopefully see that happen, but it should be a good opportunity for him, for Dean to make a push to try to break even on a revenue and expenditure level. But everything else is of no concern at this point to me. Any questions?
I don't have any. Approve? Yes. Anybody like to approve?
I'll move.
All right. And a second?
I'll second.
Brandon Burke.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. David?
Got a call. Roll call.
Oh,
Yeah, first and second, no vote, right?
Yeah.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Stroman,
yes.
Buckner.
Yes.
Efficiency.
You in a hurry?
Now are you to me? Over to me now. I have a few things. I'll try to be brief, though. First of all, I just want to give a quick update on the projects that we have going around town. Jackson Street, they have demoed the first 2 blocks between 7th and 19th. They're currently working on getting the water lines installed and some curb and gutter work to go along with that. They probably won't start any kind of center pour back for another couple weeks yet, but right now that's what they're working on. That's what they'll be working on the next couple weeks. Anybody living, what's that?
You said Jackson Street?
Yeah, you did.
That's what you said.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forest Street. I don't know. I was getting it confused with the 14th and Jackson on the other project. My bad. Yeah, Forest Street on the, up on the north side of town. Yes. So, but they will be letting people know, they don't expect it to be much disruption in service at all when they do it, and they will be letting people know door to door before they do that. So that's where they're at on that one. And on the parks, parking lots and trails project, I have good news to report. The Aquatic Center parking lot is completely paved now, and they do have the south end connected to the rest of the town. So that is a thing now for all the people on that side. The side coming around behind Ball Field 4 that would connect it to the trails to get everybody else on the trail system and the rest of the city connected to that will probably occur a week after the pool open. I was hoping to have both ways connected at opening, but we're not quite going to be able to get that done. We do have the entryway also to the pool that is paved now, as well as the parking lot and as well as the north side connection. We're just working on the south side connection now, but they will be probably about a week after the pool opens. That will be, so it shouldn't be long after the pool opens, and we will have access for everybody, every kid going to that pool, not to have to go out on the street anymore. So super happy about that. They are doing a little bit of just pre-work over there at Memorial Gardens, nothing serious, just some surveying and things like that, because they had some spare time when all the wind and rain was kind of coming through, so they went over there just to do some preliminary work over there, but they won't be working in that area for a little while. The intent is to finish the pool and getting that connected. As we know, the pool is going to open here Memorial Day weekend or shortly around that time, and we want to have that as close to completion as possible when that happens. So I'm super excited about that and super excited about getting the kids off that busy street trying to get to the pool. I think that's what the council wanted all along, and we're seeing the fruits of that now. So another quick thing, Sandhills Energy will be mobilizing starting June 6th. They're planning a ribbon cutting somewhere around June 17th and 19th. They'll be bringing in their crews. Sandhills Energy is the one doing the solar project.
So they're
And
gonna
they will,
start
yep, they will be bringing in crews. Right now, they have office space right now where they have, the person that's going to head up the project is housed over at the WTA building, and that's where his office space is now. That they will be bringing in more people starting June 6th that are going to start doing, they're going to be doing the actual work. So we'll want to keep the public up on that. I want them to know that they're going to be coming so they can prepare for extra, 15, 20 people being in town that'll probably want to eat lunches and things like that here and there. So that'll be good for the economy as well. But I want to let you know that that project's moving forward, and I did speak with them, and they are going to be mobilizing on June 6th and be doing some sort of a ribbon cutting somewhere between the 17th and 19th, probably out there on the project site. So I'll let you know when I get more details on exactly when they're doing that. They're doing these projects, about 3 of them in the Panhandle, so they couldn't give me an exact day. It depends on which way, whether they work from us up or from, Scotts Bluff down, on whether we'll be 17th, 18th, 19th. But as soon as I know the exact date of that, we'll let the council know so that we can attend their ribbon cutting for their solar project. And the only a couple other things, the CEC conference, Connecting Entrepreneurial Communities. I know that Brad attended some of or Brad and I actually did the welcome for that. It went very well. I thought the sessions were very informative. It was attended, really, really well attended. We had a ton of people in town. And I thought I got a lot of compliments on our city and our accomplishments that we've made, just endless amount. Everybody had wonderful things to say in all the sessions that I went to. People pulled me aside and said that they just were so impressed with Sydney and everything it's accomplished. And then the one thing that you almost never hear at a conference, almost on the sheets you fill out at the end of the conference to give feedback, it always says, almost everybody says the food was, it's conference food, it could be better. But they said the food was phenomenal. It was all local vendors, and they said the food was the best. It got super high marks, which is rare for a conference, so I'm super excited about that. And then on May 3rd, Brandy and I attended a military luncheon for General Colin Connor. General Connor is currently serving as the Director of Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Modernization at Burksdale Air Force in Louisiana. He'll also be heading up the regional efforts here on the ICBM transition from the 60s Minuteman system to the more modern Sentinel system. It was a great event. I think Brandy and I both had a really good feeling about this general. We've talked to others on Zooms and here and there at other meetings, but this guy's a straight shooter, and I think if he had something to tell us, he would tell us. He does say some announcements will be coming, so we take him at his word. And it was a very good event, so I was happy to have went to that. The only other thing I have is I have got a call from somebody from Husker Illustrated magazine, and I just thought it was interesting to point out because I think this is very cool. They're going to be doing their article this month. Their main feature story will be on Sue Lind of Albion, who was the previous high jump record holder at I believe 5'10", and also our very own Carson Lealing, whose record I believe is 6'1.5". I could be wrong about that, but I know it's right in there within a quarter inch. And their whole story, their whole spread, cover and center story will be about these two and how they've communicated with each other. And Sue Lind is working with Carson to kind of prepare her for the pressures of becoming a track athlete at the University of Nebraska and even Olympic tryouts and things like that. So I think that's a really awesome piece, and I'm looking forward to reading it. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Sorry, I know that I tried to get that through that as quick as I could. That's all I have.
Thanks.
I'm good.
All right.
Kathy?
David, you already spoke.
I'm done. Spoken of.
What you got, Tom?
Last month was a busy month for the police department. We had hired 2 new officers. Both of them were filling out their application packets. They're in training, doing online training right now, and moving forward with their field training programs pretty soon. And we're on our second week operational in our new police department.
Very nice.
Still working out the bugs, putting up some security systems yet, but we're operational in there. If you have time, stop by, we'll give you a tour. So,
How does it compare to the old building?
I gotta clean out the old building's basement yet, and I haven't bring myself to walk back in that building since I got in the new one, so.
Gotcha. Understood.
Is that what the new officers are for?
The new guy.
We did put in work moving, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What was that, 2 cops in a truck, David?
Yeah, I told him I was gonna start a side business, two police officers in a truck.
Oh, there we go.
2 men in a truck, since they did such a good job moving us over there.
They're a great field trip tomorrow. They come here to visit the city offices and departments. And Paul will be representing in here, and he'll talk to the little ones about what happens in here.
You'll do great.
Come on, son.
15 views on YouTube.
Really?
Right
That's up from
now,
12
we're
last
at
week.
11 concurrent viewers, so kudos to you. Yeah,
Fantastic.
thanks.
Brad,
The
John,
future
yours
John.
go up.
Ratings are up.
Future does a great job.
Keeping them around. Eh?
Nothing.
Nothing? Ready?
I meet with Brittany Harden tomorrow for state economic development, so if anyone has any questions for that level of economic development, they can always come knock on my door and throw it at me.
What time is that?
I will be meeting with her at 11.
All right, fantastic. Brandon?
I want to say good luck to the state athletes that went down for state track, and good luck to you 3 on tonight's primaries.
I was gonna echo that there's a good luck to the Tracksters. It should be a really exciting deal. They could come home with the state championship out of this deal, or very possible.
Yeah.
And thanks to all those who went out and voted today, whoever you voted for, just go out and vote. That's what this is all about. Let's let the community decide what they want and go from there.
Disagree with those guys.
All right, agreed. Yeah, I think good luck to the track team, exactly. I think that they could use all the luck that they can get. I think it'll be fantastic if they come back with some trophies, and good luck to everybody this evening, everybody here that is running, and everybody else out there that's running. So, and with that, 6:12, you're 2 minutes off, Lori, I apologize. Have a good night.